Nah.
I like that. I like the energy.
What's up,
Nah.
everyone?
Nah.
Welcome back to episode 8 of Spreading the News. I am your host, Chase Carucci, and I am joined by Brian.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. That's what I want to say. Recording this Sunday. Mom, if you're listening, love you. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms and the MILFs out there. Danny.
And we're here with Denny.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day, like Brian said.
That's all you got?
What else am I going to say? We're about to talk about the Yankees. Let's get into it.
Well, I would like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the amazing, amazing women out there. There's nobody else that we'd rather do this pod for.
Mm-hmm.
We do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Mom, if you're listening to this. You empower me. All right, let's do this.
Let's do it.
All right, so boys, we have a very the last couple of weeks we've had a lot of very high note episodes, and this week is going to be a little shaky. It's been a weird week. We ran into a lot of canceled games, and we haven't spoken since before the Blue Jay series. So we can just dive right into that. We'll start off with the Blue Jay series, and what do we got? If someone wants to take the lead here, what do we got with the Blue Jay series with game 1?
I could take the lead on that, I guess. But Jordan Montgomery, again, a great outing. He has been very solid for us this season. He has a 2.9 ERA. But of course, he cannot get a W in the win column because we give him no run support. And I know wins and losses for pitchers don't mean anything anymore, for starters at least. But you know, it's I'm sure he would want to win in the win column, but the Yankees just decided not to give him run support ever. So it was scoreless first 3 innings for both teams. Both pitchers were pitching well. It was Ross Stripling for the Blue Jays and obviously Montgomery for us. And Gleyber Torres got the scoring going with an opposite field home run, 2-run home run, scored Donaldson. Love to see that, but the Blue Jays answered right back in the bottom of the third to tie it up. Now, what I wanted to talk about most was that 9th inning. Nobody scored from the 4th inning to the 9th inning for either team. Get up. It was first and second, right? We got first and second for Donaldson and Hicks. Donaldson grounds out. Donaldson gets an unproductive out, or there's a runner on second. Donaldson, unproductive out to the third baseman, did not advance him. Then fucking Aaron Hicks again comes up. Again, this guy always finds himself in a clutch situation, and he always finds a way to fuck it up. We're lucky that we have Mr. Clutch batting behind him in Gleyber Torres, and he drives the runner in with 2 outs. But Aaron Hicks, I'm getting sick of seeing him at the plate. I'm getting sick of seeing him in the outfield, and I'm pretty sure every Yankee fan feels the same way. He is just the opposite of Clutch that we talk about every week, and it's every week with this fucking guy.
Wow. A lot to unpack there, Danny. Let's save the Aaron Hicks for a little bit later, because I think a lot of us have a lot to say about him. Brian, it looked like you were getting ready to say something. What do you got?
I don't know how I could follow up that really hot start by Danny, but starting off with Monty, another good start from Monty, which Danny said no decision, which I am trying to pull up the exact stat, but he has 22 no decisions. Oh, here it is. Jordan Montgomery has 22 no decisions since 2021, the most among MLB starters over that span, which is just another testament to how bad his run support has been since then. That's from New York Yankee Stats on Twitter. I have to give credit because that account is great. But the story of that game was Gleyber, I would think, again. Because, like we said, it's got the scoring going with the homer, and then the clutch hit in the 9th, which continued later in the week, which we'll end up talking about. And I'm also going to save the Hicks stuff because I'll rant about Hicks a little later. So, Chase, if you got anything about this game.
We're all ready to rant about Hicks. We've had enough of this fucking guy. But
I think you guys have covered everything that I wanted to say. Not much more to say other than that, Gleyber just continued his clutchness that he's had for pretty much his entire career in that game. With he was responsible for all 3 runs that game. So it was really good to see that. I love seeing Gleyber coming into his own here in this season. Not even like we said, we'll talk a little bit more about Gleyber later. But that's all I got from that series. Just again
from that series, that whole series, we still have a couple more games.
Or that's what I meant. The game. I'm sorry. Did I say the series?
Also, something I noticed from that game, like, we didn't score a lot, but we were hitting the ball hard. Like, the team was hitting the ball hard. It just found glove. Like, Espinal again is just always he's always making a crazy off balance throw to throw someone out. But
the only other thing that I have to say about that game It's just like you guys were saying with Jordan Montgomery. I'm just tired of not giving him the run support that he deserves because he has
Feel
been
bad.
elite this year for us.
He's been great.
Awesome.
CC's been telling us for years. We've finally seen it. But I've always thought Monty was really good. I always feel very
I've liked
confident
Monty,
about that.
but I mean, having a 2.9 ERA and have in 6 games, 6 starts, having a 2.9 ERA and not a win in the win column yet. But you think he's frustrated by it yet? You think because it happened today again?
You know, I always think about that, and I don't know. I don't know as a pitcher, if you're a mentally strong pitcher like I think Jordan Montgomery is, I don't think you let that get to your head.
I mean, I'm not saying that, but of course he wants a win, right?
Of course he does, but I don't
think it'll get.
I don't think he's like sleepless at night over it. You know?
No, I think he just knows he went out there and did his job, and he controls what he can control.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the guy Monty is. So
exactly. Then that brings us into game 2 of that series.
This is the one we were excited about.
A 9-1 victory for the New York Yankees over the Toronto Blue Jays. Lots of scoring that game, but it didn't come quick though. It took a very long time to get runs on the board against Alek Manoah, who was just dominating us. I think at one point he retired like 12 straight or 11 straight. It was pretty gross. It was a pretty gross first, probably, 5 innings? Yeah, first 5 innings. What do you got? Danny, what do you got on Alek Manoah? Or not even Alek Manoah, just whatever. What do you got? What do you got?
Well, that guy, Alek Manoah, we said in the last episode that he just kills us, and he continued to kill us in this game. However, top of the 6th, we're down by 1. That Aaron Judge at bat. Aaron Judge had looked ugly against Manoah all game. He was flailing at sliders out of the zone. Alek Manoah got him 0-2. So there you're like, he's going with the slider. Like Judge learned. He's got him with the slider in both the at-bats prior to that. Judge takes 3 sliders in a row just off the plate. I don't know how he took those pitches, but he wants that fastball. He's not going to let Alek Manoah fool him with the slider. He's waiting for that fastball. So when he got to 3-2, a fastball's coming. And sure enough, Alek Manoah leaves the fastball right over the middle of the plate, and Judge hits an absolute bomb to tie the game at 1. And then
I just wanted to say he was looking inside fastball that entire at bat, and once he finally got it, like you were able to tell he was looking for the inside fastball all at bat, and once he finally got it, he obviously took a hold of it. And not only was it a great moment for us as Yankee fans, but it was a great moment for a fan.
Yes,
as the ball landed in a Toronto Blue Jays fan's hand, as he caught the ball, and then he gave it to a younger fan. And then he started like hysterically crying over it.
Younger Yankee fan.
Younger Yankee fan, which was really cool. Which was really cool to see. And then the next day they met up and Judge gave him this whole thing. That was really cool to see. But I just wanted to talk about that for a second.
It shows those. Hey, they're nice up there. I saw a Yankee fan would have threw the kid on the field with the ball.
Yeah.
But
go ahead, Danny. Keep going.
Then the 7th inning was that huge 6-run outburst. Manoah was already out of the game at that point, but the spark plug of this game, Marwin Gonzalez. I don't know what got into him that game, but he just decided to, be a beast that game. But again, like we've touched on the past few episodes, the Yankees are scoring without having to hit the long ball. And they capitalize on teams' mistakes. That was the one thing that we always got frustrated with the Yankees. Like teams would make errors, give them walks, and give them bases, but they wouldn't capitalize with those runners in scoring position. And that 7th inning, started with a Bo Bichette error that got Stanton on first base, and Donaldson drove the ball into the gap. Stanton somehow walked from first to home. He walked, literally, it looked like he was walking from first to home, somehow scored. Then Marwin Gonzalez doubles again. Then he makes that crazy rundown play in between third and home.
Hilarious, by the way.
That was crazy.
So funny.
If you didn't see, he got into a rundown and he deked the tag from Vlad, which,
although he didn't deke the tag, although the tag was firmly on his shoulder.
He did get tagged out upon further review. He did get tagged out.
We've seen
Blue Jays should have used their challenge.
Yep, we've seen Boone get hit with that before. You use your challenge too early, and
they didn't have a challenge at that point. They already lost it.
And Hicks actually drove in a run that inning too, which was an odd sight to see.
That was like 2 of his 18.
Yeah,
that was one of the 2 of his 18 scoring position or whatever.
Yeah, 218. 2 for 18. We saw that today. 2 for 19 now. Or did he walk?
No, he walked. It was
Walked in
2
that
for 8.
bat.
Still
2
2
for 18, whatever. And then Judge ended the scoring in that inning with another home run, his second home run in 2 innings. That was just a great inning for the Yankees. It was fun. It was fun to watch. They were
Judge homered
capitalizing on
twice that
mistakes.
game?
They were hitting. Yes.
Yeah, no,
Twice in
no,
2
he
innings.
didn't.
Oh, I mean double. I meant double.
Double.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking Stanton home run. Stanton hit a home run. Judge hit a double. Stanton hit a home run.
Get your facts
They're the
right,
same.
dude. This is business.
They're the
We mean
same
business
person.
here.
They're the same person.
What an
They're the same
idiot.
person.
We mean business here. We can't have those mistakes.
They're the same person. It doesn't
We
matter.
actually wanted to announce that we are holding tryouts for a new host here on the show. No, I'm kidding.
Somebody's getting the boot soon. No.
But
No,
yeah,
that
Judge with the double. That was a nice to dead center field. Scored 2. And
let's talk about JMO in that
Yeah.
game.
finally, thank you, Chase.
Brian,
I was
talk
waiting for
about
Brian.
J-Mo.
I wasn't going to touch on JMO because I know Brian has been dying to talk about
Yeah,
him.
Brian, JMO's your guy. Let's hear it.
No, he just shoved for 6 innings. Again, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts. His ERA is down to 2.84 right now, which I've been a huge Jameson Taillon supporter, and I was so happy to see him go into a big game like this against one of the best pitchers in baseball and just do his thing and lead the Yankees to an eventual win. Like, you guys know I expect this from him now, and as we should. He's been nothing but great all season. So that's all I got on this game because I just expect it now from him.
JMO was dominant. He's been dominant all year long. You love to see it. I was not the biggest. I keep saying this every time we talk about him, but I was not the biggest JMO supporter. But I'm starting to hop on his bandwagon a little bit. He is really, really pitching well this year. I have to wonder if it has something to do with the surgery he got in the offseason.
Yeah.
But he really is turning heads. He's turning my head. And it just goes to show that if the Yankees had a deep playoff run, I would be very confident with JMO at the back end of the rotation in a game 4, game 5.
He's a huge back end of the rotation piece. I mean, he's not going to have a sub-3 ERA by the end of the year. I would think he wouldn't, because then the Yankees would have 3 signings on the team. That's just crazy. But he's going to be a huge key piece
Or
for
with
them as the
Monty.
whole rotation. Oh yeah, Monty too.
And about 7 MVPs. Don't forget about the MVPs.
Yeah, no, but Taillon is going to continue to be really good. It's going to have his bad starts as they all do, but he's going to be a huge piece for them later in the season.
And we'll close out game 2 of that series really quick just by saying that the bullpen again in that game didn't let up a single run following
Dude, they're amazing.
Taillon's start. It was a 1-run affair for the Toronto Blue Jays, which is obviously a high-powered offense. They haven't been living up to as much expectations offensively as everyone anticipated them to, because they're really bad with runners in scoring position. I expect it to get better for them.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. There's a lot of talent on that team. They'll figure it out. But also,
you go ahead, Danny.
One thing that was funny from that game, I know you guys caught it, and around the 8th inning, it flashed to the Yankees dugout, and Giancarlo Stanton sitting on the bench, and Kyle Higashioka looks like he's giving him hitting.
Yes.
It looks like he's giving him hitting tips. And Stanton, the look on Stanton's face, why is the guy that's hitting 130 giving him hitting tips right now? But sure enough, next Stanton at bat, he hits 444 feet, a fucking bomb.
Okay, wait.
Yes, we could say Higgy is the reason that Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run that game.
I got to give a play-by-play from the group chat. I have it right here from our Yankees group chat. I said, I text, ain't no way I just saw Higgy giving Stanton pointers in the dugout. And Danny, you laughed at it. And then I said, what am I watching right now? And then it said, ain't no effing way. And then Brian says, I am effing crying. And Danny says, look on Stanton's face. He wants to tell him to sit down and shut the fuck up so bad.
Why the fuck does Higgy think he could give Giancarlo Stanton hitting pointers? But obviously it worked.
It works.
And then wait. Yeah. And then I go right after Stanton's home run, I go, Giancarlo, no si posto far. And then wait, Brian, I think you said something.
I said that's all Higgy right there.
Yeah, you said that's all. Yeah, there it is. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorite moments of the entire year.
That game was just fun. Like, we were just having fun that game. Before we got off this game, it's backtracking a little bit, but I just wanted to say how much like that Judge home run off Manoah was like maybe one of my favorite regular season homers ever. Like, you just see it was There was 2 strikes on him. I don't remember if it was 3-2. I want to say it was, but
It was 3-2.
it was 3-2. And like in a big spot like that, the whole crowd's on their feet because Manoah is pitching sick again. And you just see as soon as he connects with that, the air is sucked out of that stadium.
Yep.
And Judge takes his trotter on the bases. Like he watched it for a little bit. He knew and see like Manoah, that was.
It was
I
a
can't stop
bomb.
thinking about it. I like it. That was awesome.
It was a bomb.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Next game. Yankees lose 2-1. No offense after offensive outburst and a 9-1 win the night before. Our only run was from a Gallo home run to center field.
The rare Joe Gallo RBI.
And if you guys remember on that day at 4:22, about 3 hours before first pitch, what did I text to you guys?
Joe Gallo's hitting a home run.
I said,
Danny
put it on board.
actually-
Joe Gallo is going yard tonight. And lefty, I knew lefty. I did not care. The first pitch Big Joe saw in that game, he hit a bomb.
I don't know how you possibly predicted that, but I respect it.
I think the problem with that game was seeing how bad Kikuchi has been all year, and he just completely shut them down.
Look, I mean,
they were 0 for 8 with run scoring position, which if we're going to get into today in the Texas doubleheader, it's been the theme again. But
and also Nestor pitched that day, 4 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and
Not a
4
shot.
walks. 4 walks for Nestor that day. That was like the story of his night because, you know, if Nestor, like, he only gave up 2 earned, but like, I don't want to say he got the job done because he kind of didn't get the job done, but he gave everything he had, which is like what you want from Nestor. And that's what he's given us all year. So,
yeah. I mean, also from that game, Aaron Boone, if there's one good thing, if there's one, like, I know we don't talk highly on Boone much, but if there's one good thing that Aaron Boone does is protect his players. I know it started out in the beginning of his managerial career in some shaky spots in the middle, like he didn't say anything to umpires, but the umpire was terrible all game. After a few bad calls, Boone gets thrown out and he gets right up in his face. There's nothing better than an Aaron Boone rant. And that was great to see, firing up the team. I know it didn't work, but we battled after that. We did show a little fight in it, but just, you know, the Blue Jays good bullpen, well, with Jordan Romano got to us, but still love seeing that from Boone again.
I'm glad you brought it up because I want to talk about it too. Like, we've seen throughout Judge's career, I think he said something on Yes Network because this happened today that he's had like 350 plus balls in like below the zone called as strikes against him. And it's something that's frustrated me since he's been up, and I can only imagine how he feels. But to see Boone get out there and get in the guy's face, and you know, we got the lip sync later from John Boy.
Make the adjustment.
Yeah, make the fucking adjustment.
That was one of the best. That was one of the best John Boy breakdowns. That was one of the funniest ones.
Yelling at the umpire like he's 6'7", and then you could see it's rare you see the umpire fire back at a manager to get, because like Boone was so under his skin. Like, I loved that from Boone. And Boone, the way he acts is like kind of grown on me a little bit decision wise. I don't know about that. I don't know about that yet, but
like his attitude.
That was awesome. Like, we needed to see that from him, and I loved it.
Well, Boone has always had some pretty amazing rants.
I mean, the Savages in the box.
Savages in the box.
There's been a lot.
I can't think off the top of my head, but he has had a lot of really good moments.
Michael K said today that he was talking to Boone after the ejection, and Boone said he was like sore from like, the yelling. And like, yeah.
No, but
I believe it, dude. He was fuming.
And I always wonder, like, when the umpire is that bad, what do you like? Do they go back and look? They go back and look at it, obviously. And
they have to.
Like, fuck, dude, I am awful at my job. Because like Aaron Boone, like, you see Aaron Boone, he's like, he's 6'7", and the umpire goes, it would have been a strike if he was 6'8", which isn't true because it was below the zone when Aaron Judge is 6'7". So you think the umpire goes back and looks at it and was like, why the fuck did I say that? I'm an idiot. Like, this is.
He has to, because it's like, at the end of the day, you're getting paid to do your job. And like, if like a player, like, you have to watch film and you have to improve. It's like, you have to watch film as an umpire and you have to improve, right? That's what I think. And
I know this is a little off topic from the Yankees, but did you guys see the Madison Bumgarner situation?
Yes.
That was a disgrace to the game.
I can't stand the guys that think it's like about them. Like, they like.
Yeah. So if anybody didn't see that, Bumgarner was mad at a strike call that wasn't called a strike at the home plate umpire. So when the first base umpire went to go check his hand, usually it's just a quick check of the hand and walk away. The umpire stood there, massaged his hand, and just stared down Madison Bumgarner. And Bumgarner looks up at him and like, what the fuck are you looking at? Like, why are you looking at me like that? And the umpire throws him out right away. Like he's trying
It's not.
to pick a fight with the players. It doesn't make any
It's
sense.
not the first time he's done that. His name is Dan Bellino. Let's hold him
Yes.
accountable because these guys need to be named. But they showed there was one he did the same thing. He like stared down Jose Batista. I don't know what had happened, but like he's done it multiple occasions. He ended up apologizing for the Bumgarner incident. But like, why are we still giving these guys like it's not about you? Like, why doesn't umpire? We shouldn't even know the umpires' names to be honest.
Yeah.
Like they're irrelevant. But they make themselves too
when
relevant.
you know an umpire's
Yeah.
name or when you know a ref's name in any sport, it means they're probably bad at their job. Like
Yeah.
Angel Hernandez is the poster
CB
child of
Buckner.
that.
CB Buckner kills the
Buckner.
Yankees.
Joe West, even though he's retired.
West. Yeah. But Angel
Which,
Hernandez
by the way,
last week in the Phillies game, like
by the way, Joe West actually has an amazing podcast. Don't want to plug anyone else's podcast here, but Joe West has a really good podcast where he like pretty much exposes the MLB for like a lot of the issues that they've had over the years. I think that you guys should really go and listen to it. It's very
one of them was
interesting.
him. One of those issues was him.
True. Very true. But let's get back into the Yankees, boys. Let's not get crazy here.
Yep.
Following, go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say we were up to the off day and then we.
Well, I also want to talk about not the Yankees in that off day for a second, if I'm allowed.
Oh wait, really quick. I want to say in that top of the ninth, Yankees were threatening.
Yes. After Boone, like I said, after Boone.
Yeah. So I think you can make the argument that Boone did fire the boys up.
Mm-hmm.
They were threatening. They didn't come through. Jordan Romano so far has been one of the best closers in the game. Got to give him credit where credit's
he stole
due.
reliever of the month from Michael King, though.
Yeah, he did.
He's been pretty good.
Yeah, but Michael King's been better. It's just the saves. The only thing Jordan Romano had more than him was saves, but King's not.
He's gonna have a lot of saves at the end of the year.
He is gonna have a lot of saves.
What were you? What were you gonna say, Danny?
Well, are we done with this Blue Jay series?
Yeah, because now we go into the 3 days off.
Now the scheduled off day. I know we don't want to stray far away from the Yankees, but what the New York Mets did on Thursday night, coming back down 7-1 in the ninth inning and scoring 7 runs in the ninth. We got to talk about that a little bit. I mean,
why are we talking Mets here? This is
Yankees. New York baseball, dude. Because we brought up the Mets a little bit last week and how like
they're not even in our league. Like,
look, bro, I was texting you guys while it was going on. It was one of the most miraculous wins I've ever seen in my entire life.
One word, electric. And the Mets are a good team. And I hate to say it, I hate the Mets, but they're a good team. They show heart. They have heart. And
so do we.
And it's not going to stop. And that was crazy. Coming back down 6 runs in the ninth inning, it just shows.
And like 25 pitches, by the way.
Yeah, it just shows that a baseball game is never over. You never hang your heads. You play till the final out.
Girardi might be on his way out in Philly for that.
Oh, he's done. He's done, dude. There's no way. The Phillies have had expectations for the last like 3 years, and they haven't even made the playoffs once.
The bullpen is so bad.
Evan Roberts, who's WFAN guy, made a really good point about how they fired Gabe Kapler, who is arguably one of the best managers in baseball right now with the Giants, and leading them to like the top of that division for what he called like the sure thing in Joe Girardi, which anyone would think, and they've just faltered. But especially with the talent they have this year. But I say back to the Yankees.
Yeah,
Mets are good. Mets are good.
What?
Mets are good. Let's put that out there.
That's a good.
Mets are good. People are still gonna hate on them, saying they're gonna collapse. They won't. They're a good team.
I never had that mindset about them this year. They're a different team this year. But anyways,
I still think they're gonna collapse. I do, but
not with Bucky. Not with Bucky at the helm.
Anyways, Yankees baseball boys. 3 days off. We had that scheduled off day on Thursday. Friday got rained out. Saturday got rained out. And then here we are on Sunday. At the time of recording this, the Yankees have played their doubleheader. They won the first game. Let's talk about the first game right now.
All right. One thing back to that off day: Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, and DJ LeMahieu chugging beers at the Rangers.
Oh, we should talk about that. That was awesome.
I was surprised when none of you guys mentioned that, but yeah, they were slugging beers at the Rangers game.
Dude, they are all like, no, Judge and Rizzo, like, are best friends. They are best friends.
I didn't think DJ LeMahieu did anything outside of like the baseball field. I thought he just like kind of lived in the dugout or something.
Knowing DJ, he probably like sleeps from the ceiling like a fucking bat.
That was awesome to see. Like I was telling you guys, like I love that those three are friends. Like that genuinely makes me so happy. Like, because you see, like Rizzo is kind of like the fun, like outgoing, like party guy kind of. Judge is like a cool guy, and then DJ's just like I don't even
He's
know.
a fucking weirdo. He's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that like when the team sees that not the Yankees, when the team sees that the three of them were at the Rangers game that night, do you think they're like, why wasn't I invited?
Where was Stan?
Right? Where was Stanton? I know Glaber likes to go to a lot of basketball games. I'm sure he would be more than willing to go to the hockey games.
You know, Tyler Wade's missing the boys in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah, but Los Angeles is absolutely dirty. They're
They're
insane
They had a
too.
ninth inning comeback today too. Walk off fashion, won that game.
But yeah, do you guys think that some players get butthurt that like they weren't invited? Or do you think it's just like a group of three?
I thought that about Judge's wedding. When Judge's wedding in the offseason, when you saw like Tyler Wade there and Glaber.
They're close. They've always been close.
Like think
Tyler
about
Wade
it this
and
way.
Judge were boys.
Think about it this way, for example. So for the viewers that don't know, the three of us are in a big group chat of what, like 8 or 9 of us, of our friends.
Mm-hmm.
What if the three of us went to a Yankee game and then we just didn't invite the rest of them? Do you think like they would obviously react, right?
It's a pod.
Do we know that the rest of them weren't invited? Maybe they did it. Maybe they texted in the group chat and only DJ was.
Who cares? I mean, we're not the Yankees though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so let's get into the Texas Rangers series. The series isn't over yet. We played 2 games today. We got the one tomorrow. We were supposed to have an off day tomorrow, but the Rangers game got moved. It was tough. 3 days without Yankee baseball was tough. No, it was kind of sad. It was lonely. No Yankees. But today we get in. Garrett Cole is on the mound. And again, he looked like our ace, the ace we've been looking for all season. And we've gotten in the last couple starts, and he continued it today. 10 strikeouts, 6 1/3. And again, after the 6th inning, he had 105 pitches. He convinces Boone to let him stay in. Boone says, all right, Garrett, go back out there. Garrett Cole lets up a home run and ties the game.
The Cy Young campaign for Garrett Cole is back on, by the way.
It is.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
it was
back on.
Although it's still a great start, 6 1/3, obviously 5 hits, only 1 run, 10 strikeouts, but to beg your way back into the game and to give up the game-tying home run, that stings. You know Garrett Cole is going to, be hurt about that for a little while, but still great outing from him. And then
Spectacular outing.
And then there wasn't much to talk about this game besides the pitching was good. The Yankees couldn't hit. Neither team could hit. But Gleyber Torres, Mr. Clutch, again, leading off the 9th inning with a walk-off home run, 369 feet. Home run would have been out in 26 out of 30 stadiums. Chris Woodward, the Texas Rangers manager after the
Chris Woodward.
the Texas Rangers manager after the fucking game, who is notorious for being a little punk bitch.
He's so soft.
So soft. He goes on an interview and says, of course, like, oh, he hits it to right field in a little league ballpark. It would be an out in 99% of stadiums. And just like, that's the lowest comment you could possibly make. Because one, they're playing in that stadium too. So why don't you use that short porch, which they did in the second game. They got a short porch home run in the second game. But then also maybe check the stats before you go out and say something fucking stupid, because it would have been out in 26 ballparks. Like, you're a pussy. Like, it goes back to the Tatis thing. When he hit the grand slam on 3-0, he's like, oh, why are you swinging on 3-0 with the lead? Like, what? Like, we saw with the Mets again. No lead is safe. You're gonna swing on 3-0.
Dude, it's embarrassing. If you're out here making those kind of comments against the players, you're in the wrong league. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It just makes me so angry that he's an authority figure for Major League Baseball, and it seems like he doesn't even know the game. Like, it doesn't matter how far a home run goes. A home run is a home run. You're playing in that ballpark too. It's just the lowest comment he could possibly make. It's a soft bitch pussy comment. Excuse my language, but that's what he is. He's a
You're in the wrong business if that's how you're reacting to that kind of a moment for a player. And not only that, but I have to think that the Rangers players are probably like, what the fuck?
What?
Like, this is embarrassing. What's going on?
Yeah.
And he called it a little league ballpark. He said it happened to go out in a little league ballpark, which it's just
And really quick.
Immature and soft. I know Brian wants to talk a little bit about that too.
I just did want to actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll say this after. Brian, you go ahead.
No, it made me so mad. Like, I genuinely hate the Texas Rangers now. They suck.
I like the Rangers.
I don't think like we have to worry about them. Like maybe your shitty 10 and 15 team should use that short porch too, which they ended up doing. In the next game, Eli White hit a wall scraper. Did we complain about that? No. Like they're on the same field as Danny said. Maybe your fucking shitty pitchers shouldn't give up home runs. Walk Labor then. Like what do you want? What are you supposed to do? Like, and again, like you said, do the research. It would have been out in over 25 stadiums, 26. And another thing about that is, which came out, which like people are not realizing. I saw Brian Hoke tweeted it and other stuff like that. Woodward interviewed and went through the whole process for the Yankee job when Girardi was let go.
Yeah.
So I feel like that might be a little like he's upset about that still.
He's butthurt.
And thank God that we didn't hire him because he's a bitch and I hate him and I wish him the worst in his baseball career as a manager. And yeah, I'm really happy to have Aaron Boone today, which is something I
would rather have Aaron Boone over Chris Woodward. Aaron Boone is no longer the worst manager in baseball. Chris Woodward.
Aaron Boone made a mockery today of him after the night game. Did you guys see what Boone said?
Yeah, he kind of made a joke about it. He kind of made it because like
he was like his math is wrong,
which it was
because it is.
Because Chris Woodward said it would be an easy out in 99% of ballparks. There's 30 ballparks, and you can't get 99% out of 30 with 29. So Boone kind of just made a joke out of it.
Guys, I wanted to talk about Gleyber. I know you guys talked about him a little bit. Today was his 7th career walk-off hit, which is the most of any player since his rookie season in 2018. He is clutch. He's the clutchest player in the league.
Oh, he is. There's nobody more clutch.
I mean, look, when it really boils down to it, I would actually really like to see what his clutch numbers are in clutch situations, because I would imagine they're probably not the best in the league, but it's probably pretty.
I think they actually might.
I'd imagine it's probably pretty close to it. And even tonight's game, when I'll get into that later, but Gleyber, man, it's just he's clutch. He's clutch.
Really
clutch. If nothing else, and he's playing a good second base on defense too. I mean,
he makes it look easy out there, man. Simple,
makes
easy throws. By the way, shout out to Dan Rourke. Dan, if you are listening, you are the man. We've been interacting with you on Twitter a lot over these last few days. We really admire what you do in the Yankee world, but we were interacting with Dan on Twitter about Gleyber, about his gosh, I can't speak. We were interacting with Dan on Twitter about Gleyber's future Gold Glove that might be in the range,
in the horizon.
What was the number that he said for Gleyber's?
Yeah, I think he has a good defensive
metrics?
unsaved metric.
Yeah.
Oh, he leads all second basemen. That's what it was.
Yeah.
In defensive run saved. Gleyber has really, really impressed me this year. He's really impressed me.
Yes. But I mean, one thing you did say in the beginning, how Gleyber has been coming into his own this season. You like to see that. I'm kind of going to discredit that a little bit. He hasn't had, a great start to the season. He's been clutch. He hasn't. I'm good. Like he hasn't. Like I like Gleyber, whatever. He is hitting 228, 710 OPS. I mean, he hasn't a great season. He's been clutch. He's come up in clutch moments. He's been better as of late, but even in his last 7 games, he's been all right.
What's his last 7?
I wouldn't say coming into his own.
What's his last 7?
He's hitting 261, 2 homers, 5 RBI. Like it's just clutch. Like he's clutch. He's been clutch in clutch situations, but really the whole rest of the game he hasn't been.
That's pretty solid for Gleyber, is it not?
Yeah, it's solid in his last 7, but I wouldn't say
what he was last year. He's playing for what he was last year. He's playing really well.
Over the last week,
better than he was last year.
Over the last week, yes. Over the last week, that's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, there's a lot more weeks to go.
No, I know, but I'm saying he's looking a lot better.
Yes.
And like a 280 on base percentage, you want to see higher too in the last 7. That's what he's got. But
he's clutch. That's all. That's nobody can disagree with that.
Clutch is a big factor.
He better have 125 clutch and then move the show on the next roster update. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, right.
Where were we, boys? We were talking doubleheader.
We could get into the second
walk off. Gleyber spicing it up with the gritty coming home.
Yes, Danny was saying that gritty's better than Gleyber Torres.
No.
So right now he's gonna debut his gritty for the.
We're not gonna debut my gritty right now. I can do it.
Please, come on. Please.
I can't. It's like I can't even.
Here it is.
Yes.
Like, hey. And then he jumps into the crowd. Walk off win. Let's go, Yanks.
Gritty Gleyber, man, is on the horizon.
Gritty Gleyber. Love to see that from him. He loves his teammates. His teammates love him. Love seeing that. He's a spark. He is a spark in clutch moments.
And now to talk about the down mood, boys.
Yeah, now my.
I mean, and also
now-
in
my
that,
night's ruined.
And now my day is ruined.
but also in that first game, our offense really wasn't there. We kind of got distracted by Glabert's walk-off home run, but we couldn't really hit.
The offense wasn't really here all day.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I know, and then leading into the second game, like 4 runs combined in these 2 games against this pitching staff, a Texas Ranger pitching staff that's not good, isn't good. Like we shouldn't be only scoring 4 runs. We should be scoring more. But
once again, Jordan Montgomery got no run support today. He got a 2-run homer from Stanton in what was that? What inning was that?
Third
The
inning.
Third
Third.
inning.
Mhm.
It's just like, when do we give Monty what he deserves?
Yeah, I do feel for him a lot.
yeah,
But like, I'm trying to pull up the game really quick here, but I keep clicking on the wrong
all
doubleheader
right.
game.
So the thing, like when Monty came out, he had 6 innings and he left a runner on second base, and Michael King came in, who has been automatic. King, the guy gets to third on a ground ball. Wild pitch, scores that runner. Then Brad Miller hits an absolute bomb into the bullpen off Michael King, something we haven't seen. So King comes in, gives up 2 runs and gives up the lead. It was honestly, we forgive King right away. He just kind of, honestly, it might have been a little good for King because, he proved that he was human over his last outings. He kind of like, was second guessing if he was even human because, nobody could hit him and he wasn't giving up any runs. So it was bound to happen. Everybody's going to give up runs. We forgive Michael King, whatever, but it's just a tough loss to not score any runs.
I want to build on that a little bit because I saw people on Twitter talking shit about Mike King after that happened, and I'm just like, how do you talk shit about Mike King? He's a human. He's a human being. You can't expect him to be perfect every single time he goes out there.
I know. He was spoiling Yankee fans because every outing he came in was just perfect. He wouldn't give up base runners. He wouldn't give up hits. He wouldn't give up runs.
He truly has been amazing nothing short of amazing this year. Today was his first blemish.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this won't become the norm, but I'm not worried about him.
Can't be worried about him.
The thing that hurts about this game, really, like if I don't have a crazy in depth, but it just hurts so much after the Woodward thing. I wanted to kill them. I wanted to stomp on their necks and just like blow them out and sweep. But now, obviously, the best we could do is win the series. That's really all. That's really all I can say about this game. The offense didn't show up again. I mean,
are you worried about the offense?
Well,
because
no.
we know they go through these spurts like this where.
Not yet. It's too early. After 2 games, it's too early. Like Maven was saying on the broadcast, how you don't want to use any excuses, but having 3 days off after a big series win, whatever, having 3 days off whenever is always tough to rebound from. They haven't played in 4 days, so we'll see tomorrow, and we'll see this upcoming week, and then we could panic. But
he even said when you're hot like this and the team's hot, you don't want the days want the days off. You want to just get up there and hit and.
Which what is it? We have 22 games the next 23 days, or 21 in the next 22. You want to be hot in those games. You want to be hot because, like you said, you want to play when you're hot. So let's be hot.
I think it's possible that we might start saying in a week from now that those 3 days off killed us. I don't want to jump the gun yet, but they really did not look good today in both games.
You can't use it as an excuse for a whole week. Okay, you give them the benefit of the doubt today, but tomorrow and this whole week they have to pick it up.
No, but 3 days off is significant. Whether you like it or not, it is.
I know, but good baseball teams rebound from that, and
you don't have a break like that until the All-Star break.
Yeah,
they kept bringing that up on the Yes Network today. So
they were in the cages. They were studying scouting reports. They were all at the stadium, but obviously it's not the same as actually playing a game. Also, Hicks is not clutch in this game too. Again, runners in scoring position, I think twice today. Was that it? He had it twice.
He walked though for once.
He walked one of them, and then he got out the other time. But
he
struck out on that awful swing on that curve.
Out. It's just it's gross. It's really gross. Aaron Hicks. I really hope that we'll get into Aaron Hicks in a little bit.
But he has a high on base percentage, so he gets on base. He works counts, but that's really all he's good for. I honestly, in that clutch situation where he struck out, I wanted to see them pinch hit Gallo. I know they did in the 9th. They pinch hit Gallo in the 9th for Marwin Gonzalez, and it didn't work out. Gallo missed 3 pitches right down the middle, but Still, anybody but Hicks.
And even like with how good Judge has been this year, he didn't come up in that big situation in the seventh. With was it bases loaded?
Yeah, he had
Yeah, bases loaded, 2 outs, and he didn't come through. Can't expect him to come through every time, but there you have to come through.
And even in the first game, he had first and third too in a tie game, and he didn't come through.
Yeah, it was a depressing 2 games. As Brian said, I really wanted to hammer them in the second game after what happened in the post game of game 1, but you can't dwell on it. You got to move on. Which if you guys have anything to say about that, we have another game tomorrow with Nasty Nestor on the bump against John Gray, who's been putrid this year, by the way, with a 7.50 ERA. So let's kill him tomorrow.
He was the Rangers' big pitching signing in the offseason. Like, nice. That's worked out for you. Great.
Yeah, and Semien and Seager aren't good. Seager's been okay, but Semien sucks.
Semien sucks.
Hopefully with Nestor being back home, he can kind of get more comfortable and build off of his last 2 starts that were just, mediocre. And be back to Nasty Nestor.
Yep, not Nestor. Yes, let's go.
Need everyone to get going. That game is at 1:05 tomorrow. So listen. This comes out at noon. So maybe, who knows? Maybe some people will be listening to this as they're watching the game. You never know.
Maybe.
I doubt it. But guys, let's do our segment. Yankee of the week, number 2. Who wants to go first here?
I'll take
Brian,
it.
would you look? Yep.
Yeah. So mine is going to be Gleyber Torres, who's
Hey.
yeah, and I'm excited to be able to say that because as the listeners probably know that Gleyber has been one of the people I've been the hardest on. Just because he's had some crazy expectations and has not really fully delivered. But now he's looking really good this week. And the reason I have him is because, like we said, well, he started off that Toronto.
I think we may have just lost Brian. Brian is frozen right now.
All right.
Technical difficulties. First time here on STN.
And he looks confident now.
Oh, there he is.
Oh my God. Did you guys not hear any of that?
No, you went frozen.
That was brutal. I was going for a while.
Wow. Dude, no
Little
worries.
recap?
There's no worries.
Oh, can we cut it out and go back?
No, let's leave it because I thought it was pretty funny.
Little recap.
I mean, I had no idea, guys. I had no idea what you guys said. So when I listened back,
me and Danny were just like, "Ooh, looks like we have."
Yikes. All right, so Brian's Yankee of the week, Gleyber Torres. Get into it, Brian.
Yes, he started off Monday with the home run, then the game-winning RBI later in that game. Today the walk-off. So I've been historically pretty hard on Gleyber, but I was really proud of him this week, especially getting those clutch hits, which I've now come to expect from him. Honestly, it's almost like the first 8 innings Gleyber's like but then bottom of the 9th I love seeing Gleyber up. So like I just want to see more of that from him, and it's about for Gleyber. It's about confidence and bounce, and I think he's confident right now because I think you saw in the second game after the walk-off homer when he hit that one to the wall, like you see him kind of laughing in the dugout. He's like, like I just missed that. Like you don't really see that from Gleyber when he makes outs when he's not confident. You see him like in the dugout looking all dejected. So seeing that was nice for him. And we see him take some terrible swings, like really off balance swings sometimes. But then when like his good swings are really good swings. So we just got to be consistent with that. So I love to see it from Gleyber this week. And I got to see more, but again, like this is a good sign for Gleyber. His swings look much better and he's playing great in the field. So love it from Gleyber.
Can't really say much more than that about Gleyber. Pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Mr. Clutch. He is Mr. Clutch.
Danny, your Yankee of the week.
All right, so I wanted to go Marwin Gonzalez, but he really only had that one game in the Blue Jays series where he had 2 doubles. I'm going to go a combined Yankee of the week between 2 bullpen arms. Nothing gets me riled up more than a good bullpen outing. I'm going to go with Miguel Castro and Clay Holmes. You guys know I am the biggest Clay Holmes guy. You guys know I'm the biggest Clay Holmes guy. He might be my favorite Yankee. I love him. I was the first one to say last year when we traded for him, like you guys included, you guys were all shitting on him saying this guy sucks. And I was like, nah, this guy has dirty stuff. He's going to be good for us. And sure enough, he was. But anyway, in that Blue Jays series, Miguel Castro and Clay Holmes pitched the 7th and 8th innings. And Miguel Castro, no runs. Clay Holmes did come in and save him a little bit after a walk and a hit. But then Clay Holmes went 1 1/3, no runs. The next day, Miguel Castro comes out again. And the reason I'm kind of highlighting him is because it was someone we traded for in a random trade, and we talked about that a lot on this podcast. He comes in, another scoreless outing. He has a 1.8 ERA now on the season. Clay Holmes, his next outing was the third game of the series. In the eighth inning, he keeps it a 2-1 ball game. When you're coming in the eighth inning in a 1-run ball game, your team is losing. That's all you're trying to do is keep it 1 runs so your team has a better chance in the ninth inning. Today, again, what does he do? Clay Holmes comes in. What does he do again? Holds the opposing team to no runs. As he does what he does. Clay Holmes gave up the first run for the Yankees bullpen this season in the first game against the Red Sox. He has thrown scoreless since then. He has not let up a run since the first game of the season. He has a .64 ERA. He is awesome. I love him. Those are my Yankees of the week.
Really quick to build on that, I was saying today to my brother, I think Clay Holmes is actually one of the best relievers in the entire MLB.
He might
And
be.
he got into a little bit of trouble today. He couldn't really find the zone, but he got out of it, like you said, Danny.
Good pitchers find a way to get out of it.
Good pitchers find a way, and it just goes to show. I think he is one of the best relievers in the MLB, one of the most reliable guys, and I think he has probably one of the top filthiest sinkers in the league.
Yep, he got another win today. He has 2 saves in the season, the first 2 of his career. I've loved what I've seen from him since we traded for him in a move that we were confused about last season. But he's been great. Brian Cashman, baby. We talked some shit about him, but he has made good moves too, and that's one of them.
I've always said he's really good at finding diamonds for the bullpen. There's really like you can question a lot of his moves, but you can't really question his bullpen moves because he always does a good job at finding good bullpen guys.
And also Matt Blake, give him some credit too.
I think it has a lot to do with, honestly, and we never give them credit. Nobody does, but like the analytics department definitely knows what they're doing with the bullpen because they're picking up guys like Clay Holmes with like a 6 ERA last year, and he's dominant for us. Like they see stuff and they know Blake can work with it, and it's worked out very well for them.
That was the same when we traded for Joely last season. We're like, why are we trading for him? He has almost a 5 ERA, and he comes to us, and he has a 2.8 ERA the rest of the season.
Same thing with Miguel Castro. I mean,
Miguel Castro had a solid season last year, but he's been notoriously inconsistent, and he has a 1.8 ERA this year.
Yep. My Yankee of the week. We never said it had to be a good one, boys. We never said the Yankee of the week had to be a good one, and I think everyone might know where I'm going with this. Aaron, Mr. Potato Head, Bald Hicks.
Mr. Potato Head.
Aaron Hicks. Look, in the beginning of the year, I was sticking up for him. I was there for him. I'm like, Hicks, he's a beast. Hicks is our best hitter right now. He's elite. Because he was through like the first 2 or 3 series of the year, he was definitely our best hitter. And now I don't even know if he belongs on the roster. Guys, over his last 7 days, 14 at-bats, 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. He is brutal. And I don't think I need to talk about the runners in scoring position issue that he's had because we touched on it a little bit earlier, but if I were to talk about it a little more, I guess I will because I have nothing else to say really, but he is like the worst player on the team. And I would say maybe even in the major leagues at in runners in scoring position spots because I forget what the exact number was, but I think it was like 1 for like 18.
It's 2 for 18 now.
2 for 18. Damn, that was a good guess. 1 for 18.
5 strikeouts.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you having my back there.
Of course.
But boys, he is lost soul right now. I think the Yankees need to be on the trade block this season. Hopefully, I was trying to cook up some guys for like when I was thinking for tonight's podcast, like of who we could trade for or target. I couldn't even think of anyone. One of the names that came up in my head was Ian Happ. But I don't know how he's doing this year. So I know he's had success in the past, but Hicks has just been brutal. And I even see some people saying that they want to bring Gardner back and get rid of
Ian
Hicks.
has been solid.
What'd you say?
Ian has been solid, but yeah, keep going on Gardner.
I saw some people saying they want to bring Gardner back and get rid of Hicks. it's not looking good for Hicks. It's embarrassing, and he's honestly costing us a lot of games. And like even today, he cost us. I shouldn't even say he's costing us a lot of games because we're playing really well, but he cost us
He tries to.
in a lot of moments. Like it's just I always say to you guys, he's swinging at 700%. Like you don't need to swing at 700% every single time. You're
Especially
up
when
to the
that's not
plate.
who you are.
When you're not a home run hitter. Like Hicks is supposed to be like a good eye, contact oriented guy who will get on base, and he just hasn't done it, and I'm fed up with it, and I'm ready to move on.
He had 27 home runs in a juice baseball season, and he thinks he's a power hitter now. But see, something good about Hicks on the season, he has a 395 on base percentage. That is great. That is a very good on base percentage. His slugging percentage though is 294. In the last 15 games for Aaron Hicks, he is hitting 229. His slugging percentage is 229. So that means he hasn't had any extra base hits. He does not hit for extra bases. He does not hit for clutch. He does not hit for power.
What's his OPS over that stretch?
Well, it would be. I have to do math because it doesn't
Sorry,
say.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
616.
Yeah,
And that's
dude,
with when you have a 387 on base percentage, you're expecting that OPS to be good, to be at least 750. You're expecting, which is around the MLB average is 750. Sometimes it dips a little bit lower. But when you're having a 387 on base percentage, 395 on the year, you think like, oh, his OPS is probably high. He's probably doing really good. Like, but no, he's not. He's not. He works walks. Cameron Maybin. I've been growing to like Cameron Maybin like a lot. I kind of like him in the booth now, but the one thing I cannot stand, he is just sucking off Aaron Hicks way too much. Way too much. He literally every time Hicks does something, he's like, oh, this is why Aaron Hicks is so good for this Yankees team. He gets on first base, he steals second, which everybody's been stealing bases on the Texas Rangers. It's not that hard to do. And Maven's like, yeah, this is what Hicks does best. He steals bases, and that's how he helps the Yankees best. Even though we saw last time he stole a base, he got thrown out, and then Aaron Judge hit a home run the next pitch to make it a solo shot. Just Cameron Maybin, stop riding Aaron Hicks. He's not good, and he won't be good.
I don't think there's any Yankee that frustrates me more. Like,
Yeah.
especially like we could talk about the offense all we want. All he's good for is walking. That's literally all he does. And because he, like we said, he doesn't hit for power. He doesn't like his numbers. If you look at them right now, are not that bad. But he's inept when guys. It's not even running scoring position. It's just when guys are on base. I feel like there's no stats for that. But I feel like even when there's just guys on first, it's a double play, like every time. And then, but the running scoring position stats are awful. And Yankee fans as a whole are fed up because it's really funny. I just like search his name on Twitter to see what would come up, and it's like the top 3 tweets are so funny. The first 2 are from Barstool Hubs, and it's Aaron Hicks leading off for this team is a crime against humanity. My God, Aaron Hicks, get a fucking clue, dude. And then it's playoff Tanaka, Gabe, who Aaron Hicks becomes when he sees running scoring position. It's a picture of Jay Bruce there.
Brucey.
Yeah, no, he's brutal. I hate everything about him on the baseball field. He jogs to the balls in the outfield. Not even a good fielder anymore. I'm done.
I was just going to touch on that too. We don't even talk about his defense because he doesn't do anything on defense anymore. He jogs to the balls. He lets them drop in front of him. There are plays that he can catch, and he just lets them drop. What are we doing?
I'm done.
Also, for one of those Blue Jays games, it was the second game of that series I wanted to talk about. Actually, yeah, it was the second game of that series. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits a single to center field. Aaron Hicks is jogging to the ball, walking to the ball.
Stretch it
and
to a
Vladimir
double.
Guerrero stretches it into a double. That's not like Tyler Wade, to bring up my boy Tyler Wade, running. That's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's not the fleetest of foot. He doesn't have much wheels. But somehow Aaron Hicks decided
Fleetest of foot.
Fleetest of foot, you like that? But somehow Aaron Hicks allows him to stretch a single into a double, it's just horrific.
It is horrific, and I think it's time to move on. I think Hicksy's time is coming to a close.
We signed him for 7 years not too long ago, so
I don't want to talk about
that's like what, 4 years ago already now?
it's like 3 years ago.
But
still,
I have one more thing to say about Hicks. Oh, yeah. Not even to mention the fact that today they were leading him off in both games. What the hell was that about?
Yeah.
In a game that DJ played in game 1, DJ hit 5th in the order and they led off Hicks. What was that about?
I don't know. I don't even know. I'm done with Hicks.
Like I don't know what you expect us to say to that. Like we don't know what they see in Hicks. We Well, no, again, it's the on-base percentage. It's that he has such a high on-base percentage. But the thing is, he's not going to be leading off every inning. Like, he wants to be the table setter for Judge and whatever. But it's just he can't do anything else. Like, that's all he does is work counts, which is great. But like, maybe he's a 9-hitter. That's what a 9-hitter is supposed to do when you can't hit.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I've said it 100 times, but I'm ready to move on, bro. I'm ready to move on from Hicksy. And it sucks because at one point he really was like, at one point he was a top 5 center fielder in the MLB in 2019?
Juice ball year.
I mean,
whatever it was.
2018, the juice ball year, like I said, he hit 27 home runs, and
He
now
was
he
laying out for balls, robbing home runs.
the
His
the
arm was
famous Aaron
insane.
Hicks game, against the Minnesota Twins, when he hit the go-ahead home run in the 9th. He made the crazy diving play in extra innings to save it. But yeah, I'm looking at his numbers right now. 2018, when he hit 248, 833 OPS, which is what we care most about, 27 home runs, 79 RBIs. That he was really good for us. He was 22nd in the MVP voting for that year. But
Those days are gone.
those days are gone. They really were never, like, honestly kind of a fluke.
Honestly, I'd rather give Steve a chance in center field.
Give Steve a chance.
And for those who don't know Steve, we're talking Esteban Florial. But I'd rather give Steve looked like, I mean, he didn't do anything, but he put some good swings on the ball today.
At the very least, he's more of a fleetest of foot.
He's the yeah, exactly. He is he is the fleetest of foot.
Who?
Steve.
Oh, Steve. I thought yeah. You know, he's not the I mean, nah, he's not.
Now he's about to say he's not the fleetest of foot.
Tim Castro is.
More fleeter of
Oh,
foot.
Timmy Lowe went on the IL today.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough.
Because late in that game, we could have used him as a pinch runner.
Yep. We didn't
Maybe
have that
so.
today.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy Lowe, speedy recovery, my man.
Guys, I'm just looking up 2021. Obviously, because he played more last year. Steve's sprint speed 93rd percentile. He's fast. He's very fast.
That's what I'm saying. Why not? And he has the glove, right? So like, if the hitting's not going to be there, he's a good fielder. I think he'll provide more than Hicks in the field. He won't do better at the plate than Hicks, but at least that's.
No, give him a chance.
I mean, he was one of our top prospects at one point, but they're not. But regardless, they're not even going to give him a chance over Hicks.
Another victim of the prospect hugging. We could have got a lot for him one day at one point in life, but we decided to hold on to him, and now he is not that anymore.
Aaron Hicks, get your shit together. And the Yankee offense, get your shit together, by the way, because what you did today was putrid.
Yep.
We need y'all boys to show out tomorrow against Texas, and then we need y'all boys to show out against Toronto for a 2-game set. Another big 2-game set. We were talking before we started. They're playing Kikuchi and Barrios, so need it bad, guys. That's all I got today. Unless if you want to touch on anything else before we sign off.
No, I think we got it. Let's bounce back tomorrow. Let's crush up on a bad team. And let's go into Toronto. Let's go against Toronto and then into Chicago. Hot.
Brian, any final words?
See everybody. Have a good one. Fuck Chris Woodward. Let's go Yankees.
Fuck Chris Woodward.
Everyone, thank you for listening. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter at @officialstnpod and on Instagram at Spread of the News. We appreciate the support. We are doing a lot better on our Twitter, and we still need to work on our Instagram, but we are doing a lot better on Twitter. So make sure to follow us there. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you hopefully on a high note next week.